Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with your holistic healer, aka Sonia B. I am back with another prophetic message that I received this morning. And I just want to say, for those of you who are new, I want to say welcome. And for those of you who are returning, I want to say welcome back. Keep in mind, for those of you who do not know, that I am an intuitive, clairvoyant, Hayoka empath who receives divine prophetic messages. So keep that in mind, and also keep in mind too that these energies could be happening to some of you. But I also want to state too, because I actually recorded this video earlier, but my spirit wasn't at ease because I felt like there was something kind of missing, but I got a confirmation, several confirmations along the way. So I decided to re-record the video. So just to let you know ahead of time, I already pulled cards ahead of time because these are the same cards that came out in the first video. Those cards were meant to stay is what I was told, but I just needed to re-record the message because I actually left something out. So again, keep in mind that these energies could be happening. And here's the thing. These energies could be happening to some of you. And these energies also could be happening to some of you energetically only, meaning like they're happening in the spiritual world, but obviously, and not only that, but they also, not only am I hearing in the spiritual world, should I say, or you know what it is? What I'm hearing is happening in other, what do you call it? Other dimensions or whatever the case may be. Because it's almost like we have other dimensions that we coexist in as well too. And it's almost like, I guess after passing, what I'm hearing is after you pass one test, it's almost like you experience that other dimension that you coexist in as well too. Take it, hold on y'all. Excuse me. Ooh. Take it how it resonates. I don't ask you to believe what I believe in, but I've seen some things. So therefore, if that's my reality, and you can take what you will away from the message and believe what you choose to believe. And I don't expect you to believe what I believe, but I've just seen myself coexist in other realities. Other dimensions. So I just wanted to make that be known too. So like I said, some of you, this situation is happening in other dimensions and it's not happening here on this physical plane. And some of you, it's actually happening on this physical plane, should I say. So keep that in mind as well too. Are those all the messages that I have? So yeah, keep in mind that these energies could be happening now to some, or these energies could have already happened, or these energies could be happening. So take it how it resonates. Everybody's situation is going to be different. Anyway, so let's get right into the message. So I'm not going to make this a long video. I just came from my mom's house and seeing my little nephew. He's so cute. He's so cute. He's so cute. Anyway, I know you guys are used to seeing me in my workout clothes when I go walk the dog or whatever. So, but anyway, so I did things kind of backwards today. I did things kind of backwards today. But anyway, so with all that being said, okay, let's get right into the message. So the message that I received last night, bear with me, y'all. Imagine that, there's a situation where, let's just say, two individuals are married and they're separated. Okay. So they're married, they're separated. And imagine, let's just say, if there was an individual. Okay. So it came in a form, let me just say it like this. It came in the form of my spouse. So just imagine again that two people are, and this was in a dream. Imagine that two people are married, but they're separated. And then let's just say they're separated. And how can I explain it? Okay, let me just kind of give you a little bit of details. So what had happened was, in this dream, myself, my 15-year-old, as well as my 21-year-old, my last two kids or whatever, because I have 3 kids total, but I have, a stepson as well too. But anyway, with all that being said, myself and my 2 kids, the 2 younger kids, we were actually going to visit a friend of mine, and they stayed in this building. But it just so happened that they stayed in this building that my spouse stays in, and this was in a dream. So what had happened was, in the dream, it's like me and the kids went and we was going to visit my friend. And then so we walked into the building, and as you walk up the first flight of stairs, it's like it was 3 levels of floors. After you walk up the first flight of stairs, because when you walk in the building, you either go up or you go down. So in this dream, we was walking up to the 3rd floor is where we had to go. But I knew my spouse in the dream stayed on the 2nd floor, and he stayed like to the left of the stairs. Like as soon as you come up those stairs, where once I made it up the stairs, I call myself trying to tiptoe. Like for whatever reason, I was tiptoeing because I didn't want him to know that I was there. So I was kind of tiptoeing in the building because I didn't want him to come out. But not only that, but in the dream, it's like the kids started tiptoeing too. Like they also, was just, I guess, trying to, they was just doing what they saw me doing, should I say. So I was tiptoeing because I was trying to be incognito, should I say. And I didn't necessarily want to deal with him. So I was tiptoeing for whatever reasons. But as soon as I made up to the top of the stairs and I started tiptoeing, then all of a sudden he comes to his apartment door. He opens up the door. And then it went from being in a hallway. And so I never made it to my friend's house up on the next level, should I say. So somehow he opened up his door like he knew energetically that we were outside the door as I was trying to creep and tiptoe. But anyway, so we went from the hallway and we ended up inside his home. As we ended up inside his home, well, at this particular time, he was actually in the dream, he was dating. And please bear with me because I have to give it to you exactly how I see it in the dream. So I can't sugarcoat it. I can't candy coat it, but it is what it is. So I just ask that, I can't pacify your feelings, but it is what it is. And some people, it may be a little trigger warning, but I just have to give the message how it was. So when me and my kids went inside the house, he had a girlfriend, should I say. Obviously, it was someone he was dating in a dream. And so, and she turns out to be a white girl. A white female, should I say. So she was a white female and she had a baby on her hip. So, I didn't know whether the baby was his baby or if it was her baby from a previous relationship. So I didn't really wonder that at that moment. But we came inside, my 2 kids, they sat down, and then she was kind of like trying to entertain us in a sense. I never sat down because I never got comfortable because I knew I wasn't going to stay there long. So with all that being said, and then I saw, because it was like the kitchen in the living room, you can see straight into the living room from the kitchen. So with that being said, I had noticed that my spouse, he had on this white t-shirt and he was putting on this coat that kind of almost reminds me, thank you, Spirit. He was putting on this coat that was almost reminding me of like Neo in the Matrix when he had that black leather coat on, except this wasn't a black leather coat. This was more like a nylon type coat material, should I say. It was a nice little coat. And I thought to myself, that's a nice coat. So as I saw him putting on the coat, his girlfriend had said, who still had the baby on her hip, she basically said, oh, well, we're going to take pictures tomorrow. And then, not that I asked or anything, but, she just gave out that information. But with all that being said, she, let's see. So after that, it's almost like she was trying to break up some of the, I didn't feel like it was any tension because it was what it was. I knew what it was. He knew what it was. She knew what it was. She knew that I was the spouse or whatever the case may be. But for some particular reason in this dream that we weren't separated, should I say we were separated, but we weren't divorced. But anyway, with that being said, so I felt like she felt a little uncomfortable. So she was trying to make small talk with my kids, should I say? And, just kind of, she was trying to make small talk with my kids. So anyway, so she asked my daughter a question out of what I felt like was disrespectful. She asked my daughter something of the nature, like, I can't remember exactly what, but it was somewhat to the nature. So bear with me. It was somewhat to the nature, like, so such and such, do you still get your menstrual cycles or something like that? She asked. And I looked at her and I was like, you don't do that. At that point in time, I became very triggered, should I say, in a dream, very triggered, because I'm saying to myself, like, basically I'm saying to my spouse in so many words, I got pissed off at him in a dream because he wasn't checking her in a sense, should I say. And I say all that to say that, because he wasn't checking her. First of all, she shouldn't have been asking his daughter that. And I took offense to the fact that I'm hearing her ask her that question. And there were some things that on this spiritual journey, when it comes down to people's menstrual cycles, that I've had learned. So I took offense to where her asking that question. Like, for me, it was on a deeper level, again, with some things that I have learned on a spiritual journey in regards to, females' menstrual cycles, and, how that kind of play in with people somehow trying to manipulate, but without getting into further details or whatever the case may be. So I took offense to what she said. So with that being said, I just noticed that he was just kind of sitting over there. And at that moment, he wasn't even trying on the coat. So he was just kind of sitting over there, like in this trance type state, like he was there, but he wasn't there. So I went over there and I got upset with him to the point that I end up knocking him upside his head. Forgive me, y'all. I wasn't trying to be violent, but earlier in the previous video, the spirit had came through and said almost like I was giving him a spiritual ass whipping, should I say. But it wasn't something that I was intentionally doing, but that was just something that was happening at that moment, should I say. So with all that being said, I end up hitting him one time, and I almost like hit him upside his head. And that's not something that I do because, I used to have an aunt back in the day who would always laugh and kind of like this, she would do that to her kids. So I always found that kind of disrespectful. So, that's not something that I would normally do in this physical world, should I say. Why I did it spiritually, I don't know. But like Spirit said, obviously he needed a spiritual ass whipping. So with all that being said, I end up hitting him 2 more times. It's almost like a way to like wake him up, to smell the coffee, to, because what I'm hearing is because she was like creating this illusion like everything was okay, because the way I saw it is if he was sitting there and he was not happy at all. Although she was appearing to be happy, he wasn't happy. I knew that within his spirit, and I knew that within what I was seeing, mentally and emotionally. I knew that he wasn't happy. So me hitting him was almost like knocking some sense into him, should I say, is what I'm hearing. Again, that's not something that I would normally do. Now if somebody put their hands on me, then that's a totally different story. But other than that, I don't reach out and just, be initiating people, putting my hands on people. So, yeah. So anyway, so I'd hit him 2 other times or whatever the case may be. It was almost like the one blow went to the back of his head almost, and then the other blow went to like the right side of his body, and then the left blow went to, it was like a boom. It was almost like shaking him up, in a sense, is what I'm getting. And then so at that point in time, I felt like it was just energy being wasted. So I was like, at this moment, let me just leave. You know what I mean? Let me just leave, because if this is the life that he chose, not that I ever wanted to come into his apartment again. Remember, in the dream, I was trying to bypass his apartment and go visit a friend upstairs. I didn't even want him to know that I was there. But just because energetically he felt my presence and came out into the hallway, and we ended up in his apartment, should I say, that was the only reason why I was there. But with all that being said, I realized in the dream that it was time to go, because one, he was just allowing whatever to happen. And so for me, that wasn't working, and I had a problem with that. So I knew I just needed to leave. So me and the kids left, should I say. And as I left, I remember yelling back at him like, yeah, it's been 3 years now, and I've been telling you 3 years. In the dream, I was telling him, I've been telling you 3 years, and I've been telling you 3 years for now to file for a divorce. Just file for a divorce. If you want to date other people, is what I told him. And so with all that being said, that was the end of that dream. But keep in mind that this, as I said at the beginning of this situation, this could be a situation that is happening to actually some of you. And this could also be a situation that is also happening, in the multi-universe, should I say. So keep that in mind too. And, in the multi-universe or whatever. So keep that in mind as well too. Like it's happening there, but it's not necessarily happening here. And then for some people, it is literally like happening, for some people physically, that's a situation that they're dealing with. But anyway, so let me get right into these cards real quick. And these cards really resonated with the message. Actually, this was the first one that I read. And the first one was adjacent possibilities. And that's what some of the choices that some of you guys are having to deal with right now. It's about making a choice. So just keep in mind, if some of you want to know, I know the outcome, but yeah, and I want to say this, Spirit is bringing to my attention too, like, because he was putting on like a coat, I don't get that it was like summertime. This is obviously going to happen sometime, maybe during the fall is what I'm hearing. And I know I said, it could be happening next week, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, a month now, or, just keep in mind, because he was slipping on a coat, I really feel like it was, it's something that's probably going to take somewhere around about the fall time. So keep that in mind as well too. Anyway, so sometimes the force of habit keeps you stuck and unaware of potentials, healthy and happy choices at hand. Yet every moment gives you the option to open a different door and to take different courses. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Spirit. I also forgot to mention to you guys, when I say that this is happening to you also in the multi-universe or whatever the case may be, keep in mind too, because, thank you, Spirit. Keep in mind too that some of you guys are also being revealed to you of the patterns that some of you are going to be revealed that this message that I'm giving right now, you're going to see the patterns in the habit. The moment that I sit up there and say the race of this individual, the message is going to resonate once you hear the message, because what I'm hearing is, bear with me, because what I'm hearing is some of you guys have been repeating the same family cycles, should I say. And what I hear is some of you guys have been repeating the same family cycles. It's like, maybe a mom or a dad might have done something and you're repeating the same habit, repeating the same habit. And, the same exact habit is what I'm hearing. The same exact habit. So if you want to get some clues to your situation, look back on your situation in regards to your parents. That's some clues there. And I'm going to leave it on that note, because what I'm hearing is some of those patterns need to be changed. They need to be changed. The habits, the pattern need to be changed. What I'm hearing is, just because your parents do something doesn't necessarily mean that you have to keep that pattern going, in other words. So take it how it resonates. Anyway, so unlike the indecision card, which indicates confusion and validation. Am I saying it right? Validation. Confusion and the validation. Okay, I think I'm saying it right. About which, and if not, you guys can correct it on your end. About which course to take. The adjacent possibility card is here to tell you that you have many options and it's time to take a wider look at things. As you consider the many life choices available, you'll feel more and more empowered and motivated to make the decisions that bring happiness, strength, and forward motion. In terms of your goals, this card could indicate unknown and previously unconsidered ideas. Perhaps there's a marketing tool you haven't thought of, a connection that you haven't tapped, or even entirely different direction that would be more suited to you. Be conscious, be aware, and be flexible and willing to take new directions now. So keep that in mind as well too. So again, that's a adjacent possibility. So some of you guys have a situation that, some of you are choosing. Some of you have had the option of just on this journey. I know that a lot of these males, and yes, I'm going to refer them to males, especially if especially when it comes down to that twin flame journey, should I say. That journey has been nothing but, anyway, I'm not going to even get on that, but I'm just going to say this, that the males who have been on that journey, and I'm going to refer to them as males until I see them showing up as actually divine masculines. And I say that to say, because, when I see that someone is in divine order, then I know that you're a masculine. But until then, I'm going to refer to it as males. Males who are in the work in progress is what I'm hearing. I know I used to tell my spouse back in the day, I was like, they doing recalls on y'all males because I don't know what's going on with y'all. I'm just saying the recall time is here. But anyway, a little jokey joke. So this next one was family tribe. So it says, be aware of how the beliefs of your family and tribes are influencing you. So keep that in mind too. We just talked about that. I just said that there's patterns that's passed from one, person to the next person. Be aware of how the beliefs of your family and tribes are influencing you. What did you learn about relationships, money, and opportunity when you were younger? Ask yourself, am I still carrying some of those outdated beliefs? Am I trying to seek love and approval from my family by doing what they want me to do? And sometimes what I'm hearing is, sometimes even if your parents have not literally said to you who to date, energetically, like behind the scenes, it's almost like behind the scenes, some of them, it's almost like whether they've kind of told you is what I'm hearing, whether they physically told you or whether energetically they just kind of just thought it, be mindful of that too, because even what I'm hearing is, even if some of you was with somebody and maybe your parents might have expressed their unhealthy, is what I'm going to say, unhealthy habits onto you, making somebody think that, anything outside of what they were doing is considered wrong, whatever. That's why it's so important to follow your heart, and not so much as being led by do too much overthinking, should I say, and being, just being led by the mind, should I say. That's why it's important to feel what you're feeling. Does this person make you happy? You have to be mindful of that too. But anyway, and you also have to be mindful, is what I'm hearing too, to be mindful of that energy that is quick moving, meaning like you feel like you have a connection with somebody and it starts so fast, because sometimes what I'm hearing is just like an energetic pull, like they're pulling towards you in a sense. Like, as I said before, that some of you guys are maybe empaths that are watching this channel. So sometimes you think energy is yours and it may not be yours, but you're picking up on other people's energy. So in other words, if they having like this sexual desire towards, you, and you just don't know it, and you thinking it's your energy, no, it's almost like energetically they're pulling and tugging at your energy in a sense. So keep that in mind too. That's what I'm hearing. But anyway, ask yourself, oh God, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having that little misfire. Ask yourself, am I still carrying some of those outdated beliefs? Am I trying to seek love and approval from my family by doing what they want me to do? An important question to ask yourself is whether you are living your life in order to make someone else or yourself happy. Superstitions and rituals that have power over you. Let go of anything that is not serving you. You are also being asked to face your fears of being different and embrace your uniqueness, even if others don't understand or approve of your actions. Often working with your energy center, in particular the root chakra, can have you release past limitations and hurts, increase your confidence, and help you to manifest your desires into physical reality. So keep that in mind too, y'all. Like that root chakra, somebody can literally like knock somebody can, if you're operating at a low frequency, should I say, and it's almost like if your root chakra becomes overactive, which is kind of like a pulling, tugging, like I said before, like if you're coming into contact with somebody and all of a sudden you feel this, whether it be arousal or whatever the case may be, and all of a sudden it just comes from out of nowhere. Sometimes you have to keep in mind that that's not one's necessary energy, that you could be picking up on the other person's desires in their energy, especially if you are empath. So sometimes you have to be mindful of that as well too, as I just said before, because sometimes stuff isn't always ours. And I'm not saying that as a way to deflect or take responsibility for your actions, but that's why it's important to know thyself, so that way you know what's your energy and you know what's not your energy. And this last one is the Isis knot. Where was you at? Okay, so this one says energetic stabilization with the buckle of the beloved. Each initiative has their own unique spiritual blueprint with particular skills, talents, and higher density unfolding that uses their unique attributes. Part of your spiritual blueprint is a special relationship to the energies of the goddess. This means that not only do you have the important spiritual task of helping her thrive in this world, but you are afforded her power, her protection, and abundance too. You are now deepening your connection to her. You are under the spiritual guidance and protection of the divine feminine. Part of your higher destiny this lifetime is to heal and flourish through the divine feminine and in her many forms, especially in those forms that truly resonate and hold meanings for you. This healing will happen on your personal path and may well be part of the work that you offer in service to the world, which may be simply in how to live your life. This oracle brings special indication that your soul is braiding or twining with the divine feminine energy in a particular form. For some, that will be a specific goddess, and the energy process will often be strong and deep. So keep that in mind as well too. The initiate will feel as if they are integrating the parts of this goddess that is not just in them, but is a part of their own conscious. It is a deeply personal, spiritual, powerful, and beautiful growth experience for the soul. This process does not make you lose your individuality if it is happening in a genuine way. So as long as it's happening in a genuine way, in other words, again, sometimes you have to know the difference. You will know the difference, and you will have, trust me, if you're in a healthier place is what I'm hearing, you will know the difference between the two. You will know the difference between the unhealthy pulling and tugging at you, as well as you will actually, thank you, Spirit, or you will actually know, you will be able to know if you're in higher frequency and in a healthier place. You will know the difference between the two. What's unhealthy and pulling at you sexually, as well as what's pulling at you and tugging at your heart. Two different things. But anyway, if it isn't happening in a genuine way, you will not believe yourself to be the goddess in question. You will instead experience her as part of your own being, and your being as a part of her. You will not cease to exist as an individual light, and yet you will have grown more into divine communion with the sacred divine feminine. For others, there will be a sense of the divine feminine in many forms and faces, and you will enjoy her variety and vast as you grow spiritually. You will not sense a particular goddess so much as you feel a deepening soul connection and awaken to the divine feminine principles, which is the animating forces behind all goddess energies. Forgive me, y'all. For still others, there will simply be a knowing that love love for the divine feminine, whether a man or a woman, is key part of your spiritual journey this lifetime. That is your important spiritual task, to just love her and be loved by her, living with honor and respect for the body, the earth, and being committed to growing in conscious awareness as to how to best express the love and respect in a genuine healing way. Whether you feel the connection with an individual goddess or the divine feminine more historical as your soul braiding or twining with her. So sometimes, again, it may be an actual physical person, or sometimes it may be some of you guys are getting in tune with your actual divine and your divine feminine side, because again, we all have masculine and feminine energy in us. You know, whether you're a female archetype, whether you're male archetype, we all have both sexes within us, should I say, not physical sexes, but the energy. Anyway, you will feel your awareness and conscious of your own divine feminine nature becoming stronger, more integrated, and more balanced part of your life and sense of self. The body will also be integrating this shift in your soul, as any work with the feminine energies help bring body, soul, light together, binding the physical and inner worlds of light together until they begin to feel very connected and harmonious. Eventually, as this process continues, when you feel your body, you will feel your soul light presence there. There will be no distinction between your soul and your body. It is a magnet, a luminous, joyful state of wonder to embody. People will be asking you what you have been doing to have such a beautiful inner glow. So keep that in mind, y'all. Okay, when that divine feminine shows up, all things kind of change. Oh, let me read this little part to you real quick. As an initiate of the divine feminine, you are offered a sacred tool to assist you in integrating and honoring her energy for your own benefits and for the benefits of the human collective. This tool will help your soul blend with the divine feminine in higher vibration, and this in turn will naturally draw body and soul into deeper connections and harmony. You are invited to experience this sacred tool for yourself by calling upon the sacred healing and protection of the knot of Isis. And that's exactly what this is, an intertwining of the two becoming one. Okay, so it's almost like it appears to be like one person, but it's like, just imagine two people coming together, you know. Anyway, so with all that being said, y'all, I hope that information was helpful. And I know, as dramatic as it sounds, you know, for those of you, however the situation may turn out, even if it is somebody that you are still tied to in this actual physical world, and they are in a relationship with somebody else, just know and understand that they're not happy there because of what I saw. As I said before, you know, mentally, physically, they didn't look happy, and, you know, emotionally, they wasn't happy. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope that information was helpful. So just keep in mind, as I said before, I believe that, you know, it could be happening for different people who are in different places of the region, you know, because I know we have like fall in different areas of the region of the world in different places. So I don't want to necessarily say, I know here in the U.S., we haven't necessarily reached fall yet. So, you know, in different places, it could get a little cooler quicker than other places too. So keep that in mind as well too. But like I said, I saw, you know, my spouse in the dream, or whatever the case may be, you know, which is, yeah, I saw him, as I said, put it on the coat. So keep that in mind as well too. But anyway, so yes, anyway, obviously, just keep that in mind. And just because it may not resonate just now, just keep in mind that it, could show up in the near future sometime. Again, I truly believe it's around about the fall time. But again, like I said, different regions of the world, could be already a little cool. So for them, it could be happening at this moment, and for us, it could maybe happening up until like during the fall time, or whenever the weather starts to get a little cool. So keep that in mind as well too. And also keep in mind that if it's not resonating with you at all, even then too, just keep in mind and to be mindful and be watchful that it could be actually happening. What I'm also hearing too could also be happening. Thank you, Spirit, for reminding me. It also could be happening to, some people that are within your energetic field, people that are close around you, people, co-workers, family members, spouses, bosses, whoever, it doesn't matter. So just keep that in mind as well too. But anyway, I hope that information was helpful, and I wish you all much love, and I wish you all much light on your journey, and I'll say until next time. And if you guys need any additional support, you can check the description box below, and feel free to check out any services that I have to offer. Anyway, with all that being said, I wish you all much love, much light, peace and blessings till the next time. Bye.